I'm like, that's what you call a spending spree? No. Have you all seen that clip of Michael Jackson going into like a mall and just like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. Like where he was like buying urns and shit and just bought basically the whole store out and went to some other place and bought that. That's a fucking spending spree. That's what you would call a rich person's spending spree. What the fuck were these brothers doing? I would liken that more to something like a um what do they call that when you do a shopping um I don't know what you call it. There's a term for it when you're doing like something to kind of relieve your mind. So like I play video games to relieve my mind. And when it's a lot and I can't keep my head like I mentioned just before, I just play a lot more video games. This is what I do. That's what I would liken that to. They were getting out. They needed to get out of their head. They needed to do something, right? And they had access to a little bit of money, and that was a little bit compared to who they were and what their family was about. That wasn't a spending spree. It's funny that you thought that was, because you're poor, and so you're just thinking, oh, I wouldn't do this. Well, obviously you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't have the money to do it. But if you had the money to do it, you would do something like that, and you'd probably try to leave the country, to be honest. So no, good try, but no. um, and let's see. Then, yeah, sorry, because I just jumped all through my notes because I'm a little bit pissed. I'm a lot bit pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a lot bit pissed. Um, so then I wanted to talk about a lot, Lyle feeling like he had to protect his brother. Right. And so that's kind of what led up to this whole thing. Eric finally divulging to his brother that um his his father was still doing this stuff to him, right? The stuff that his father was doing to him. Bruh. I'm so sorry, Eric. I am so sorry. That is some shit and a half. Okay. And the saddest thing about all of that was at the beginning. Sorry, you hear my voice shake a little bit because I can't stand, I can't stand this shit. I can't stand that type of stuff. I can't. Anyways, the saddest part about this is that at the beginning, for Eric, this was his means of getting close to his father because he wanted his father's love, right? This was the means of getting close to his father. This is the only way he knew that he could, was by letting his dad do this, or do this stuff to him, or making him do stuff to his father. I think most of you watching, even if you have closed off your hearts to love and light and life, I think you still would be able to accept the fact that a kid shouldn't have to offer their body to their father for whatever depraved, you know, things that he wants, just to get their fucking attention. That's not normal. Okay. And this isn't one of those things because his dad was telling him about, oh, this is what the Greeks did and this is what the Romans did, which is true. It is. But we don't condone it. That's not, no. There's this thing called consent, right? That's not what was happening there. He didn't want to do it. Yeah, he wanted to have a relationship with his father, but by any other means than this. This shouldn't have been the way that he would have had to develop a relationship with his father. This it's That's crazy to even think about. This isn't like, oh, I'm a kid, I don't want to eat my vegetables. And your parents have to get you to kind of eat your vegetables, right? Most parents, when they're trying to get their kids to eat their vegetables and they won't, they try to find some creative way of going about it. They don't try to bulldoze you into it, because there's a reason why kids don't like vegetables, right? So you got to find some way about it, right? It's like usually kind of like in the mind or whatever the situation is. That's when that's when you're not trying to traumatize the child. But this isn't even the case here. Okay. The case here is that he's exploiting his son's, you know, the fact that his son is his son, the fact that he listens to him wholeheartedly, the fact he's exploiting all of the vulnerabilities of his son to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do, you know. And I do think that the trauma that the father faced when he was young played a lot into this. But at this time, he's a fucking adult. You have got to know that there is something wrong going on in your head, that you were hurting your kid on purpose. And the only time that you will give credit to your kid, that you will even acknowledge him positively, is during these sessions. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. And he was doing some BDSM type shit. Okay? Again, consent. Listen, I'm gonna show y'all. I am very much into the world of fetish and BDSM. I am very much into it, unabashedly so. That ain't what the fuck is going on here? That ain't that. We are all about consent. We are all about, if this one, and we are not about doing this to kids. We are not about that by any means. What the fuck are you doing? And okay, the parents are dead. What the fuck is the prosecution doing? What are you talking about? He wanted this. Are you fucking kidding me? He was a goddamn child. Oh, I can't. You, Pamela Bazanich or whatever her name is, talking about kids, men can't be raped. What? They don't have what did she say? They don't have the equipment. All you fucking need is a hole. What are you talking about? I'm in the library, so I can't be loud, which is good. I don't want to. None of this makes any sense. None of this makes any sense. It doesn't. Anyways, so yeah, so so Lyle experienced abuse since he was like 6 years old, I think it was. Eric experienced abuse when he was younger than that, because it started with his brother, and then it went in to his dad, and even his mom sexually abused him. Or what is it? She was popping zits on his penis and stuff like that, and I forgot what it was that she was doing, and basically just enabling the dad to do whatever it is that he wanted to do. And you know what? That's all. It's done. It's done. So then, why are these brothers why are these brothers even behind bars in the first place? These brothers needed to be rehabilitated. They did not need to be in prison. They didn't shoot anybody else. They didn't kill anybody else. But they're abusers. Should they have killed their abusers? No. No. They didn't even want to. No. Again, I'm very much anti violence and gore and all that bullshit. I'm very much against that. But when you don't have a recourse of another recourse of action that you know of, what the fuck what do you? No. And I think even Lyle was saying, oh, this shouldn't have gone to court. This should have been settled. Absolutely, it should have been settled. If you had any type of heart, Pamela, you would have recognized that this needed to be settled. Okay? You would have recognized that, but you didn't. And it's funny because you were also, Pamela was also on the documentary, just fiending for like attention. It looked like. Now, I don't want to judge what was going on with her in that show or whatever, and her threatening TikTokers and whatever, because that was crazy. Um, but sorry, I was messing with the mic settings here. But you know what? There is a for people who kind of close off their hearts to the suffering of other people. Again, I'm not a Christian, but I do believe in God. I have a very close relationship, although very turbulent relationship with God. And I do believe in Jesus, and who I think is God, who I believe is God. But I say God, but I mean God the Father or Mother, however you want to address them. But Jesus said that the love of many will wax cold. For those of you watching the court, fuck the series, but for those of you watching the court TV trial hearing, and you can come away from that thinking, oh, these brothers are not, are, you know, just acting or whatever. You should be scared, because this means that you are hardening your heart to the like the pain and the desperation of humans that are living in this world, who are like un, unprivileged. And these brothers, oh, they were rich, but they were very underprivileged in many other cases, right? They had no one to turn to. They had no one protecting them. And you're just going to close your heart and your mind to that? Be careful, because your heart will soon become stone, and there's no way that you can turn that around. None. And that will be your tombstone. And if that is the horse that you want to ride on, go for it. Go for it. But love and the kingdom of heaven, there's no place for you there. And if you're just like, oh, fuck heaven, I don't want to, that's fine. That's fine. But the kingdom of heaven will grow, and it will encompass people whose hearts are open to the crying of other people, to the sorrows and the pain of other people. That is what the kingdom of heaven is about. It is about healing and helping. It is not about calling people liars when they're so obviously telling the truth. And if you cannot see that they're telling the truth, you should not be a prosecutor. Thank God you are retired. But anybody who is prosecuting, that's absurd. You should be careful. You should be very careful about the way that you watch anybody watching these shows, and they're just going to be like, oh, these brothers are, they just made up some elaborate story. Okay. If you can't tell the truth from a lie, which again, the Bible warns about. In fact, I think I might even have it here. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Because I think I was just even looking that up this morning. Let's see here. Yeah, it says, this is what 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, and despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. What does it also say? Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And that was, I guess, referenced in Matthew 24, 12 through 13. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, bruh. I'm not trying to threaten you. I'm just saying this is a warning. You should really watch out the way your heart is going. So now what's interesting is that this case is being reopened because of new evidence, evidence that I thought was already evident in the first trials. But now they've gotten this letter from the cousin that Eric confided in Andy, and they have what do they have? A letter, and they have the Menundo. Let's see. I think I've even written his name down. The Menundo band member Roy Rossello, if that's how you pronounce his name. I apologize if it's not. So that's the new evidence that's coming out, or that came out, and so they're wanting to use that to retry the case. They had three different. I think it was three different ways that they were trying to come at this. They were trying to get. I think there was this habeas corpus um, ruling. They were trying to get that. And if I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me. Please feel free to correct me because I'm very much open to being corrected. An attack. So the habeas corpus was, I think the meaning is like, or they're using it as an attack on unlawful or illegal. It's an attack. Sorry, habeas corpus is an attack on unlawful or illegal imprisonment, and that I found in this on this website called Find Law, and basically they're saying that the judge mishandled the trial, the second trial, because that's where they were actually sentenced, which I agree with. The judge absolutely mishandled that. He was very biased. He wanted it. He had an objective, and he did everything he could to get that objective. So, anyways, I want to end with why I think the brothers needed rehabilitation. They needed rehabilitation. There's this thing that I really believe in, which is the sins of the father coming on to you know, the children up into the third and fourth generation. It's in the Bible, but I've seen it in play. So I do actually believe that. Hold on, let me get a drink here. So I do actually believe that that is the case, and their father was telling him, "This is what you'll do to your kids." No, 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 no. Let us break that chain right now. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, and so yes, the brothers need to be rehabilitated, not for anything wrong that they did. Well, they killed their parents, so that is definitely something you need to be rehabilitated, because that is something that's going to play on your mind forever, right? So they definitely needed something to help them get over, reconcile with what they did, understand that what they did, they knew what they did was wrong. They didn't want to do it, but reconcile that with themselves, but then also, kind of break the chain of just abuse and psychological and physical abuse that they had to endure. Like they had to have that. Now they were sent to prison. They shouldn't have been sent to prison. I don't think they should have been. They should have had court mandated rehabilitation. That's what they should have had, even if it was like intensive, even if it was in home care. Because I think Eric was at a point where he really needed in home care. Like he may have needed to be institutionalized, but not in fucking prison. I mean, at the end of the day, Abrahamson did just a fucking tastic job with getting, I think, what was his vicar, getting him to open up and stuff like that, because he was very suicidal, and I know that because I was suicidal. I really think that I think that I think she did a really good job handling that entire like situation. So thanks to her and people who actually cared about the brothers, they were able to really get rehabilitated. But it shouldn't have had to happen in prison. That is injustice. That is thanks to the injustice system. You know, so and I say that very sarcastically, obviously. Um, this is probably going to be controversial, but I do think that the brothers, I don't think that they should have been imprisoned, but I do think that they needed to spend some time apart because they were so reliant on one another. And this is one of those things that kind of brought out, and this is trauma bonding, right? This is what they say. This is what it is. It's kind of like it's kind of trauma bonding, and they needed to break that bond. You know, they needed to be themselves, their individual person, you know, and not kind of rely on each other. Again, not in prison. Um, but I wouldn't have the reason why they separated them was because they were saying, oh, you know, they could, you know, try to um, collab on another murder or kind of like escape plan or something like that. Um, no, you have no evidence, you have no proof of them ever doing that before. Why would you just assume that that was going to happen now? The only thing that they really collabed on was the lie that they were going to tell, you know, the police at the times, or whatever. And that was just a horrible collab. It wasn't even, it was like, it was like a makeshift, like, okay, this is going to be our alibi, but it is shit and we know it sort of thing. Like, they're just like, what are we going to do to get ourselves out of this? And people are like, oh, wow, why didn't they just fess up? Shut the fuck up. They were innocent black people who are in prison who did not fess up because they know that the system is against them. Okay? These brothers were scared for their goddamn lives. Uh, the last question on my mind would be, why didn't you fess up? That would be the last question. Because in my mind, I'm like, I understand why you wouldn't fess up. You don't know who you're going to get. You know, you don't know if you're going to get someone who's sympathetic or is just an asshole. Unfortunately, they just got a bunch of assholes, one right after the other. These these kids were abused. Just thinking about it, these kids were abused from the time that they were 6 until the time that they were until even just now. They have had shit lives their entire goddamn lives. That is sad to think about. Now they've tried to make the best of it, which Eric is a fucking awesome painter. I'm like, bruh, go professional. Um, and then Lyle, I think is helping with the green space. I think it is. So he's very much a hands-on, very like um, out there thinking sort of person, you know. Oh, and that also reminds me, like, the world needs people like Eric, people who have soft souls, soft hearts, because without them, the world would just turn horrid and gray, you know. And there was this in the transcripts. Khan was asking them about wanting to be an actor, and so asking him if this was an acting thing or whatever. And Eric was like, I never really seriously considered it, but I hadn't, you know, thought about it and stuff like that. Bruh, yeah, he's a soft heart. He is one of those type of people who go into the arts and just make the world beautiful. Because without people like him, in absence of, you know, him killing his parents, uh, or regardless of the fact that he killed his parents, you know, I I believe the reason why they did. I believe the reasoning that they give why they did it. They shouldn't have done it. They know they shouldn't have done it, but I understand why they did, and that is the nuance. There was a reason, and it was a very legitimate reason, you know. And in spite of that, it is people like Eric who make the world still more, you know, welcoming to other people, where people can just kind of have some sort of hope, you know. So anyways, I don't know if I even touched on all of my things, because I just went all like ADHD ballistic on this shit, and I just, yeah. So I am proud of Cooper Koch, however you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I am very proud of him. Very, very proud of you for, if you're watching this too, for standing up for the brothers. Someone needs to. Someone needs to. You know, and my what I want to tell the brothers is, I know it's going to sound really stupid, but I think Eric would probably more interested in hearing this than Lyle. But Eric, if you're listening, or if you get word of this, I know Christianity sounds stupid. I'm not a Christian, and I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in organized religion, but God is real. I have experienced God, and I have asked God the same sort of questions that you are probably wanting to ask. Why did this happen to me? Why did you allow this to happen to me? And I know that you believe in God of some sort. Okay. There's a deeper level to God, and there's a deeper level to knowing God. And you will, if you ask the questions, you will get the answers. Whatever questions you want, you will get the answers. Just ask them and be open to hearing the answer. Okay. And you will see and you will understand. But the sad thing is, the reality is, you will understand, but other people won't. But it doesn't matter. This is for you. Okay. Just keep talking to God. Just keep talking to Him, being honest and open. Screw the religion and what they're saying. Screw all of that. Just you and God. Okay. I know I endured a lot of bullshit as well. Not like you, not like you both, but I endured a lot of bullshit, and I have like I said, a turbulent relationship with God, because I'm just an angry individual, because I'm so upset with all of the injustice and just cruelty in the world. And I have a soft heart as well. And but I have I know God. I can say that I know God, very little, but I know God. And I know that God will answer you if you ask the questions. If you desire to know, He will. Or they will. I say they will answer you. Just ask God. Ask Jehovah. And keep it in your heart, and don't let it go. And I have prayed for you both, like supplicated for you both, that you will be freed. I do believe it'll happen in 2025. I haven't been told that it will, but I do believe it will happen this year. So stay strong. And just keep going. I don't know how much Lyle would be open to that. But God has been the only thing that has kept me going. I have also been very suicidal. So God has been the only thing keeping me going for me. Even now, I'm in a kind of a weird situation, and God is the only one that has kept me going. So the brothers, they can be found. They have media that is managed by their significant others. One page is the Facebook page. I think it's Rebecca and some of the family members that manage that. I totally forgot to look that up before I got on. I will write it in the notes in the bio. There's also a Facebook page for Tammy Menendez, which is Eric's wife. And there's a Facebook page, I think, for Rebecca, who is Lyle's. I think she's still his wife, or if they've gotten divorced or separated or something. I don't recall the situation, I apologize, and someone can correct me, and then I can, write it in the description. But anyways, her page, or their page with the family members, is also on Facebook. There's also a Discord. It's a paid Discord. Unfortunately, I can't join it because I am in a situation where I have no money. So um, I'm working on that. We'll see what happens. But in any case, that is also available. And I will write all of that in the description. And in any case, in any case, just hold on, brothers. Like, people from around the world support you. Justice needs to come. It just takes one person. I'm just asking God for that one person at the right time. And I know you're frustrated because it keeps getting delayed, but I think it's getting delayed for a good reason. I I pray to God. I ask God that it's being delayed for a good reason, because this is what happens to me. I want something, and I think it should happen now, but it keeps getting delayed. I have learned now that means that the time has not yet come, but it will come. So that is my hope. I am sorry that any of this ever happened to you. And again, I am sorry that I ignored your story, because I listened to the medium. So, if any of you all want to comment, you know what you have to do. Join the Discord. The Discord is as low as I could get it with, and also defer the trolls. So if you want to discuss this, but I'm also on the page, on the Lyle Menendez Facebook page. So we can also discuss there. I will be posting that I made this video as well. So I will hope to see you all in my next episode. Ciao.